All right, towing heavy with the Sprinter van video number 2. I know it looks a little different than the first video. Believe it or not, that wasn't that long ago, but I think it was 2 degrees that day. Today it's 90. This is gonna be a short video probably. We're just headed over to our local gravel pit, Marion Excavating. They're gonna hook it up and let me weigh this thing. I think fully loaded, probably with just the trailer and then with just the van. So all these opinions and numbers and everything I'm giving you guys really doesn't matter unless you can compare how heavy your van is to mine. So we're gonna head out and see what we get. All right,
This is the middle speaker?
Yeah. All right, so I got this scan gauge 2 thing and with some coating from them. We have the transmission fluid temp and the coolant temp. They're exactly the same right now. It's 90 out. I need somebody to 3D print me a bezel for that thing. And here we go. Any guesses on the weight?
What, total?
Yeah, how much do you think this thing weighs?
Jeep is... just over 4,000 pounds. Trailer is 25.
You think my trailer weighs 2,500 pounds?
Maybe it's like 23. It's over 2.
I remember a discussion when I bought it with the guy talking about how much I could tow, and for some reason I remember a number like 8,500 pounds, which would mean the trailer is 1,500, which is...
He's lying.
I was duped.
My 18-foot open deck that has like fixed ramps and stuff on the back is 2,400 and change.
Well, we'll see. I'm gonna say it's 5,500 pounds.
The Jeep in the trailer?
Yeah.
You can be optimistic, I
Maybe, maybe ice cream will pop out of nowhere too.
Ooh, ice cream.
All right. What was your guess?
Like 6,000 for the stuff in the back.
6,000. All right. Wait, what 6,000? Oh, I guess that makes sense. So the whole thing was 13,540, and then the van's 6,460.
So the trailer is 7,000.
So the trailer is 7,100 and something pounds. Damn it! It's heavier than I thought it was gonna be. All right. Well, the testing continues.
The van doesn't mind.
All right. So when we parked this thing back at the shop, there's quite a few side streets and hills and stuff between the scale place and the shop, and we were at 220 both with the engine and transmission. It is 92 degrees right now. Normal operating temp for this thing is usually like 200-ish. Right now, I mean, I just parked it so it's cooling down, but I'm unloaded and I drove across town, and when I parked it, it was at like 208. So, you know, it's 12 degrees hotter with the load behind it. You know, I'm used to my Silverado where nothing moves at all, no matter what you put behind it, as far as temperature wise. But I still think we're okay. But I definitely want to put my transmission cooler that I have after the radiator, because no matter what you do, you know, either the transmission heating up is gonna overheat the coolant, or the engine heating up is gonna, you know, heat up the transmission temperature, because they pass through each other. So I'm definitely gonna put that cooler after the radiator, but we'll do that in a controlled setting. So we'll tow this setup down on a certain stretch of highway, check temps, EGTs, all that stuff. We'll install that cooler and see what the differences are. But for now, We know the weight of this thing, it's pretty heavy. I thought an aluminum trailer would help, but I wasn't too worried about it. Now that I know how much my setup weighs, I'm really thinking about that aluminum trailer. But you know, it's deceiving. It tows it really well. So we'll see. We are within 50 pounds of the max weight rating of this thing. So, you know, we're definitely pushing it. So thanks for watching. And on the next video, we'll be towing this thing somewhere in a controlled environment on a highway, and then installing the cooler and taking it back out on the highway and checking some numbers. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so the next part of helping my van tow extremely heavy is tuner. This is the power control from DTE Systems, and in here as well, we have the pedal control. We're gonna start with the power control just so I can get a realistic feel for like the different settings and what they do without the pedal control affecting shifting points and whatnot. So for this trip, I'm gonna hook up the power control. I'm gonna install it right now. We're leaving tomorrow, hooking up the trailer, the Jeep on it, heading about 2 hours north. So yeah, I'm gonna bust this box open and see what it looks like. Pedal control. Power control. So this has a module. This is a piggyback tuner. So what it does is it takes the fuel and a bunch of other signals and just alters it and tricks the engine into giving you more fuel and more air under a lesser load. So it gives you more power without changing any of the factory safety parameters or the factory tune. I'm not sure how much power it's good for. For some reason I feel like 50 foot-pounds of torque was a number that I recall from our conversation. But it's cool because, you know, as far as like engine tuning and whatnot, you know, there's certain parameters like not enough fuel pressure or, you know, too much air or a boost leak, stuff like that in the factory ECU that, you know, if you go outside of those parameters, you're gonna get a checked engine light or limp mode and the van will protect itself. The cool thing about a piggyback tuner is you retain all of those parameters. So if there is an issue, you know, you're not gonna burn your motor down. It's no different than driving around stock. So it's not the most powerful option, but it's definitely the safest. So I talked with these guys a lot and I'm pretty excited to try this out. And we only have 2 connections here. I know one is the fuel rail, and I think the other one is the mass airflow sensor. So I'm gonna get to hooking this up. It looks like it's gonna take me longer to zip tie this up and mount the module than it is to actually install it. So yeah, I'm gonna jump in there. So my van has a lot of miles, so you know, this is a good opportunity to just, it's not necessary to take your intake tube off, but you know, it doesn't hurt to take it off and take a look in there and just give the turbo shaft a move, you know, in and out, up and down, lateral and horizontal movement. And you know, just check for premature wear, you know. If this turbo lets go, usually takes the motor with it, so doesn't hurt to check it out. Mine is suspiciously awesome. So, okay, I don't know. I'd say maybe it's been replaced before, but there's some corrosion on the compressor housing. But you know, with 200,000 miles, you just never know what's been replaced or rebuilt and whatnot. So I don't know. It's pretty nice, but then again, so is the rest of this van. So whoever had it before me, thank you. You took really good care of it. So I'm gonna pop this back on. And I was wrong. It is the cam sensor and the fuel pressure sensor. So what this tuner is doing is tweaking the timing, giving it some more fuel, and then it obviously, you know, will sense that and throw some more air in it. So that's basically the gist of how it functions. So yeah, I'm gonna keep trucking here. So this is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but there's a little slot right here on this splice, and I'm assuming that's for a zip tie. I was trying to find a home for this stuff because I need to put that insulator back over this, so I wasn't sure, like I didn't want to cram it in here and have it chafe through on something. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna see if I can get this around the fuel rail, I guess. It's probably the best place for it. And I guess the same thing. I guess I'll do the same thing with this one. I want these wires. Ooh, right there. That's it. That's it. That's it. Right there. Put it in. All right, that's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I'm actually gonna zip tie that right there to this wire, just so it stays bundled up nicely. Sweet. Let's put this thing back together. All right, so I got it all back together. That took like 25 minutes, and I was going pretty slow because I care about my engine. I wanted to take my time. So we came off the front of the fuel rail here, went up through the intake tube, around the corner, zip tied it to this chassis harness on the cowl, looped it, and there's the module. I zip tied the module right to that same chassis harness. They make it really easy to mount this thing with these 2 slotted holes on each side. And I didn't want to drill any holes, so zip tie as it is. It's good, doesn't move, won't affect anything. It's in a good spot, so I can make adjustments if I want to change the tune. The other cool thing too is this dummy plug that they give you. If you're ever having a issue with like a check engine light or a performance issue that you're trying to figure out and you want to unplug this thing, you don't have to fully uninstall it. Or if you're going in for service and for some reason you wanted to bypass it for the sake of bringing it to the dealership or something, all you have to do is go under here, unplug the main harness from the module, and then plug the harness into this dummy plug. And what that does is it jumps all the wires back to each other, so it's no different than the van just being stock. So that's a really cool feature. It's nice to have, especially if you're out on the road and maybe you don't have a scanner or something, you're having an issue. This is a quick check that off the box. It's not the tuner. So that's a nice thing to have. Throw it in the glove box and just keep it with me for wherever I go. So next video we'll hit the road, or next clip we're gonna hit the road probably tomorrow with the trailer. We're gonna monitor a bunch of numbers, EGTs, coolant temp, but mostly transmission temp. That's my main concern with this thing. So and hopefully I have a good review of this tuner. I'm pretty excited. I have high hopes for it, and yeah, I'm really excited. If I'm impressed with it, I'll definitely sell it to customers, but I wanted to try it out first. So they hooked it up with this thing so I could give it a whirl, and yeah, hopefully I can have a good review for it, and I can sell it to some of you guys. All right, see you tomorrow.